Hello, hello. Here we are coming to you again with the Paranormal World Show under the umbrella of Broadcast Team Alpha. And my name is Hagi, and I am the host here tonight. And we are coming to you on 44 different platforms around the world. So we are just about everywhere. And we are also transmitting on the Conscious Awakening Network. You got to go there and have a look at those guys because they have close to 50 different shows over there that talk about all the things that we need to know about. And also, I want to tell you how you can connect with me and connect with Nori. You can go to broadcastteamalpha.com and go to the contact feature there and then send us an email and we will get it and we will get back to you and see what we can do for you. And also, while you are on YouTube, if you're watching it there, because that's the place to be, um, go ahead and subscribe. That would help us a lot. And click the bell so you get notifications of the next show when it's coming out. And I tonight or today, wherever you are around the world, this is going to be a totally promptu show. I'm going to talk to you about something that I did close to 30 years ago. I traveled around the United States teaching a mind development course that is now called Zox Pro Training. That is ZOXPRO Training. The website is zoxpro.com. ZOXPRO.com. And what I was teaching people how to do is to assimilate information out of a book at the rate of about 25, 50, 75, or 100,000 words per minute with 95% retention. I know that sounds ridiculous, and to many people it is until you get to understand it. And see, the thing is that this is real. I was teaching it almost 30 years ago, and they are still doing it today. And of course, the next question that's going to come is that if that is the case, why don't they teach us this in the schools, in the colleges, in universities? Well, it was tried to bring that into the school system. Richard Welsh, he was the founder he kind of put the course together. And there is a theoretical part and a practical part to it. And just stay with me here because I'm going to demonstrate to you towards the end here. I'm going to demonstrate how you can do this. And it is perfectly possible for you to be able to do this if you do the practice on it and you learn how to do it. But to start out, Richard Welsh was in Phoenix, Arizona, and he had put the course together and he proved that this worked. So he went to the Phoenix Schools Board, one of the boards, I think there's several of them, and he said, give me 7 of your worst fledgling students. Give them to me for 1 week. 3 hours every night for 5 days. And I will bring them back to you as A students. They laughed at him and sure, they picked 7 out and they taught those kids that was D and F students before. And they taught them how to do this for 1 week. Every evening they got together for about 2 to 3 hours, probably 3 or 4. There was quite a lot of practice involved. And when they came back, they tested the kids and they jumped straight to A and B students. So how did that happen? It's because these kids, they learn how to read. See, we have not been taught how to read. The rote system, where you look at one word at a time, is the most lousy way to learn anything. You should invite the mind into it, the subconscious mind. When you use the rote system, one word at a time, you get it into short-term memory. It sits there and festers, mixed up with other concepts that you think about. And then it's fed into long-term memory, anything from about 5 minutes to 20 minutes later. If you can find a way to get the conscious mind out of the way, and you go through the book, fly through the book in 5 minutes or so, then you bypass the conscious mind, put it directly into long-term memory, and then you can recall it that you normally do from long-term memory up to conscious understanding. I know it sounds like a little difficult, but there's a system for it, and I'm going to explain that to you. But think of it. There are some of you out there that's watching right now that say, I don't care about reading fast. Well, first of all, you are no longer reading, because the concept of reading is rote memory, one word at a time. We don't read anymore. Now it's called mental photography. You take a mental picture of the 2 pages in the book side by side as you fly through it, 2 pages a second. And if you don't care about that, then fine. But you may have kids in college. You show them, send them to the website, and if they go ahead and learn how to do this, they'll ace every test that they do. Now, there is also, think of it. I got to think about this because I ought to pull it together. This is just something that I did on the spur of the moment here because I wanted to see if there's people out there interested in this. And if you were to do this from the time you were a little kid and up, in your school system, or especially if you're homeschooling, it is ideal. You could have a PhD by the time you're 14. And that is the reason why the Phoenix school system did not accept it. They saw the kid come back, the kids, and they saw them jump to A and B students, but they wanted nothing to do with it. Why? If you ended up with kids that could have a PhD by the time they're 14, what in the world would you need teachers for? They understood that. They could lose their job, and there's a lot of power. There is money involved. They would nothing to do with it. So I can understand that. That is why the people that I travel around the country teaching, they were usually offices of corporations, private business owners, military. They were people in their private capacity that came in and took the course, and they went home and had phenomenal benefits from it. If you go to the website, you're going to see one of the astronauts went through it, and he had phenomenal benefits from it. So I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. I think you got an idea of what it can do. Now, think of it. If you were to do something like this, when you can go through a book in about 5 minutes, what would you do with it? If you learn what's in that book, 5 minutes, you can do 12 books an hour. Well, that's kind of a joke because you got to have some time in between, but you can understand what I'm saying. If you go to school, it will benefit you phenomenally. It has benefited me phenomenally. I have used it off and on. There were times when I didn't use much of it, and I love books. I have a library here of about probably somewhere around 20 some feet of wall space, floor to ceiling, full of books. And I gotta be honest though, I haven't read all of them because a lot of these books are owned by one of my housemates, and she's a total health nut, so they're all health books, mostly. But I have read an awful lot of them, and I have photographed an awful lot of them. There is a process for doing this. Let me go into how this is done. And I'm going to demonstrate and show you how it is done. I'm going to see if I can turn the screen down so that I have a box here where I have a book on it. And I'm going to show you how you access the subconscious mind while getting rid of the conscious mind and put that totally out of the way. Because the conscious mind is usually very busy and it creates blocks from material information and so on going into the subconscious mind right away. And I'm using this book. This is the one I wrote for, you see my name down there. I wrote this for the people in the world that want to make a difference. I teach people in here how to use your mind in ways you normally would think would be impossible. Because my mind don't work like a lot of other people anymore. And I'll show you how to do some of these things in here. Now, let's see. I'm going to put the screen down so I can see if I can. Yeah, there we go. We can see the book here. All right. We want to relax so we can go into a meditative state of mind so we get the conscious mind out of the way. We sit down and just let the mind drift off. Just tell yourself, my mind is still. Say that 5 or 10 times. And then you look into the book. You look through the book. Do not look at the letters on the front, because now if you look at the letter and start reading, the conscious mind get involved and it blocks it from going into the subconscious mind. Look through the book, about a foot down below it. Focus about a foot behind the book, because now the front cover goes blurry. the conscious mind does not latch on to things that is blurry. And then open it up, and you can look inside the front cover, or you can use the front cover and look at it. And you tell yourself, this is a command to the subconscious mind. Tell yourself, I will see and I will understand everything I see and read in this book, and have perfect recall at any time I need it or want it. Say that a couple or 3 times so the subconscious mind and the conscious mind accepts it. Now, open it up and start turning pages while you're looking through the book about a foot behind it. Start turning pages. You can see 2 pages a second. You turn them like this. Go all the way towards the back of the book. By the time you get to the back, it's going to be maybe a little heavy to turn. So close it up. Turn it over upside down and backwards, because the mind does not distinguish what is upside down and backwards. It catches everything. Now you start turning pages again. Two pages a second. As you go through, past the place in the book where you stopped the last time. Now, you may want to do this twice, because there will be times in here where you actually you think you turn 1 page, but it is 2 pages or more. So what is in between page number 219 and 221, as an example, if they stick together, you will not see and you will not record what is on those pages you do not see. So if you do it twice, chances are that you can get everything. And that is why we say 95% retention, because you will miss a few pages. It happens. When you are done, you put your hands on the book and you tell yourself again, I have seen and I have understood everything in this book, and I will have perfect recall at any time I need it or want it. So, that's very simple. Now, I said simple. It's not easy, because there's some effort on your part. You got to practice. You have to condition the mind to be able to accept what is coming. Get the conscious mind out of the way. That's why the people that meditate out there, they are excellent at this, because they know how to still the mind. When you still the mind and then do this, you bypass the mind, put it directly into long-term memory where you can recall it later. If you have problems getting it back out, it's because your mind was not still. You created barriers. And it takes a little bit of practice to be able to do this. So I would say practice until you get it. Don't be like those people that say, oh, this never works. Try it 3 times and quit because you didn't get anything from it. Yeah, I don't think hardly anybody gets by trying it 3 times. You need more than that to condition the mind. I when we did the classes, the first time we gave them an, a, a dictionary, and we told them to do the dictionary like this. And then I gave them a word that I know is in the dictionary. And they had to write down the page number that they think that word was on. They were often that people got the page number right the very first evening, so they had only tried it once. It was not uncommon. I think probably when a class of 20 people, 15, whatever, there usually was one or two out of those that caught it the first time. That'd say you something. And then when we went the second evening, we had them do another book that they have never seen before. They photographed the book and we gave them a written test on it. Questions like, what did so and so do on whatever that was listed in the book? And a lot of times, the second evening, pretty much everybody scored more than 50. So there's no chance that it could be just to chance. About 70, 80, that was normal percent. By the time they're gone, we ran four evenings. And by the time they got to the fourth evening and we did a book that they had not seen again, it took them about 5 minutes to get through. And we gave them a written test. Most of them scored in the 90s. Once in a while, not uncommon, they scored 100%. So we know this works, but it is up to you to practice. There's another thing that kind of a novel thing that I want to tell you that can happen. If you do a lot of it, when you practice flying through a book like that, the book is in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind actually creates a movie around the content of that book. And once in a while, you can have the subconscious mind replay the book in your mind. I, I had an advantage because I was out there teaching the stuff, so I could do a lot of it. Especially when I went to the library and I had a stack of about 7 or 8 books sitting there and I sat going through. There were people that stopped and asked me, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm reading. So I just kept doing it and they just shook their head and walked away. They didn't understand. But the the subconscious mind create that movie and it replays it for you. It shows up as a movie in around you, in front of you. And it is the movie from the book that you have photographed, or one of them in the past. It could be one that you photographed a month ago, suddenly replays itself. That is not common, but it does happen. I had that happen once, just once. That was one book that was written in Norwegian that I had. In fact, I have the book. There was one by Fridtjof Nansen that claimed to have gone to the North Pole, the very first guy to reach the North Pole. And he wrote a book about it in 1912, I think. And I had photographed that book, and that's the one that was replayed for me. I could see him walking across the ice. I can see him finding dead bees on the ice at 1,500 miles from where anywhere a dead bee could be, because that came out from the interior of the earth. I can understand that. So that's novelty that for those of you that is watching this, if you get a hold of me, if you start practicing, feel free to get a hold of me. Go to Broadcast Team Alpha and go in the contact feature and send me an email, and we can talk. Because a lot of times you're going to run into questions that you don't quite get the first time. And maybe I could help you some on that. But I highly recommend go to zoxpro.com. ZOXPRO.com. And they are doing it on the internet now. It's a very streamlined course. And now, back in the day when I was doing it, that was before the internet. So, 1990, gosh, 4, something like that. Uh, but it's all done on the computer. It's really reasonable. We used to charge almost $1,000 for the course, but now it's just a fraction of that. So just go ahead and look at it, but study the website. Look at the testimonies from those people. Shannon Ponzo is running the show now, so just send him an email if you like. He might be able to get back to you. But this is your challenge. Or if you have children that is in college, send them over to that website. I think they're going to fall in love with it because it will change their life. It changed mine. Since I started doing that, but of course I've done a lot of other things, hypnosis and things, but that really changed my life because I knew what the mind could really do. There were no limitations to what we can do here. So while you're at it, go to YouTube, the Broadcast Team Alpha, and become a member, because we have a lot of shows in the member section that others do not get to see. There are several of them that teaches you how to reprogram the subconscious mind for success, for weight loss, and whatever you want to do. There is, and I'm going to do one here in the next week or two about, for those of you out there that has a hard time falling asleep in the evening, or you don't sleep much at night, I'm going to do one for you, because there are some tricks that you can do that you can fall asleep just like that. That is, of course, if you listen. So check out the membership on Broadcast Team Alpha on YouTube. I think you're going to like it in there. There's some really interesting stuff. And that's about all I have for you this time. And if you are on YouTube watching this, then please subscribe. I'm going to have some really interesting stuff coming in the next few weeks also. So until then, be good to each other.